So, you may have seen previously a video with this base being showcased. Since then, there's been a fair few modifications, changes and upgrades, but the most important thing is further integration with the Way of the Water update. First thing you can see straight away is the windmill, and then this great big, what I attempted to do was build an e-gale. Okay, let's do it. Hello, welcome back. So you may have seen previously a video with absolutely no soul of me giving a walkthrough of my base and everything that I'd done to essentially try and integrate it with the Way of the Water update. Now, straight away you can see water flowing down from the top of my base, a windmill and a giant attempted eagle. Now, what I can tell you straight away is the integration has gone quite well, and there are a lot of bugs still with the water, but it's early days. It's still an absolutely fantastic demonstration of volumetric water in games, and I can't appreciate it enough. Now, first thing, again, flowing water, windmill, and we'll display a few other things as we go in. Now, that suggest that ugly fucking thing, that will be changed. That is just a temporary pillar or housing, scaffolding, whatever you want to call it, which I can go inside and then have a little wander about and build a much better pillar, which suits the aesthetic a bit better. That depends how much time I'd like to actually put into that. And so, what you can see straight away is it's got a bit more atmosphere to it now. This flowing water was fallen into what I call a static drain, or static flow drain. It's got two drains at the bottom of this dig out, which essentially just zap up the water. It's not flowing anywhere, so there's no chance of flooding. I have a couple of other demonstrations regarding this, where essentially the water's actually flowing through a series of tunnels, pipes, if you will. Water sewer system. I've got two sewer systems, which I'm showing you. So yeah, first things first, main entrance. As you can see, very atmospheric. We've got a nice window which lets in some natural light. Might do a bit more work on this. Pop some actual window frames in there, but that depends on the look we're going for. And straight away you can tell the look I've gone for is, I don't know if you played that Lord of the Rings Return to Moria. That's sort of inspired most of this build. Now, we've got nice little gardens with a central monument, or central well, which demonstrates a bit of flowing water. We have this first water wheel you see. It did power a grinding wheel, but we got rid of it and moved it towards the secondary water wheel, which is hidden behind some trees near my farm. Now, we'll go over that in a moment. So mainly this top area here, the entrance is residential. We've got the cookhouse for the farmers where they live. We've got the carpenters, which needs a hell of a lot more work, in the sense of, can't really tell it's the carpenters. And this idiot keeps getting stuck here all the fucking time, and I feel like I'm just gonna have to get rid of this, so let's do that now. No, I can't, she's blocking it. I'm gonna have to just use the staff to move her. Okay, it appears she's got me stuck. There's a lot of books. There's a lot of books. Now, inside you can see still a lot of decor. I've gone for sort of a natural look with the stone. Didn't want to get rid of all of the stone. Still might cover some of it up. But you've got central structural support, workshop, bunch of storage. Here we got the main carpenter's room and the assistant carpenter's room. So that's who lives here. In this building here we have a little bit more decoration, a little bit more homely vibe. We've got a kitchen, cookhouse, plenty of storage. And then we're going up the stairs. You can see. Hi. Please ignore the bed because the bed does not match at all. I think it's part of the new update, one of those new beds, and I just don't like it. All of this, the furniture is really pending update, to be fair. Location, rotation, all that kind of stuff. The furniture itself might get replaced. But yeah, we've got a little side door to this building which leads out to the stairs, which leads to the second story of our multi-story farm / residential / bar. This is probably my favourite bit of the whole build, to be fair, apart from one thing. You can actually see that there's a big old pipe there which the water's flown from, comes down, powers that water bill. And the same with this aqueduct really, the water starts there at the bar and it comes across, down, further down. Okay, let me show you. Nope, okay. I'll show you in a second anyway. It essentially goes to a waterfall, which then goes down a duct. Through that duct leads to another waterfall, which then follows another duct into more ducts, and then essentially to my sewer system, which goes quite I'd say about 50 meters down, and then a little bit that way. But that's the dynamic drain I was speaking about. It essentially flows, goes down, and then there's a sewers for it to fill up essentially. It's worked quite well. Now I'll show you the other residential area. This is the assistant hunter's room. Not much to show there really. This is the actual hunter's room, and doesn't really match the character or their background, so it's going to have a lot of work done to it. Yeah, as you can see, just a massive workshop, a little bedroom, and really no living space at all. That's just to drain some water. Had a bit of a flood when I was trying to do work on active flowing water. I really should have cut it off at the time. But as you can see here, the pipes, which has two output water pipes essentially, which are filling up this room. And it comes out pretty great and flows down. We have the bar, which needs a hell of a lot more work. It's very bare bones. We have the barkeep's home. Again, a lot more work is needed doing. This whole back wall is going to be part of a much bigger fortress. There's a couple of doors, a couple of rooms, as you can see. And then, as we have here, we've got the wizard's home, the old wizard's home. We moved him out. We may move him back in because I don't like the new home I built in. This one has a bit more character to it. And you can really see that through this view here. It's just wow. Yeah, and then we come down, secret door. I'd like to implement more of these, but I don't really have the creative outlet for like how and where and why to input them. This leads to a courtyard, which is that aqueduct leads to a waterfall, and then leads to a duct, which I'll show where that leads in a moment. Got the blacksmith's home, which houses the blacksmith and the blacksmith's assistant. And we've got the apartments, which are relatively like squatters' apartments, pretty crap quality, well, sort of the vibe it was going for. Got the sewers, which everyone keeps getting trapped in. Which is better than getting trapped anywhere else, I suppose, keeps more than one place. Now in this building, this whole building, there's running water. This building too, running water, but the difference is this one has a reservoir. This one has an aqueduct. This one has an infinite filling bathtub. So I really need to build a reservoir for it as well. Find a way to connect it to the aqueduct. As you can see, bathtub's filling up, going through this. As you can see by the water splashing, it goes down this pipe, down here, and what I did was I dug the floor out. As you can see there. Oh, there it goes. Shit. It is now filling all this. Let's not do that again, because that has absolutely flooded this whole place. Oh dear. But I guess I get to show you how these drains work. Apparently not. The game is bugging quite bad. Well, it's drained by itself. There's plenty of drains lying around. As you can see, it does sort of level out and eventually spill off, and actually does evaporate too. Once I figure out how I'm actually show. No, I don't need to show it really. What we can do is essentially it just goes through here. I dug it out. Comes this way. Goes out into the main street. Courtyard. And the same with this. That right there is where the water flows down. Same for the upstairs. Same there. Again, this one has a bathtub which isn't inflowing, and it's definitely bone dry. I think I've boarded it up. Some flooding issues. Anyway, this comes down here. They all flow this way towards this central bit. All of them have one little block notched out, which leads directly to the first set of sewers, which is just in there, as I've said. Yeah, I'll share this room. This is also got running water. As I said, it connects to the aqueduct. Ignore the tree coming through. Now, you may also see is water just splashes out massively, so I hope they find a way to contain that in the future. But for volumetric water, they've done about as much work as they possibly can. As you can see here, this is the first duct I spoke of. It comes down, goes through here, and there's a secondary hole which leads again into the sewers. Once that goes out here, it goes under this pillar. Fortunately, there's no structural integrity in this game yet, so we have a floating pillar. And then this leads to a... oh dear. It should lead to a waterfall, but it appears we've got a bit of a flow problem. Good feelings in this. I'm sure if that's fixed it. For fuck's sake. Yeah, like I said, it's a lot of bugs still in this. We fixed it. I'm gonna break that again. Let the water flow back through. If that's what I want. Yeah, so that flows through. Comes down to this waterfall. And then from the waterfall, it essentially goes into a main duct, which connects to the drainage from all the houses, the drainage from the first water wheel, and I shall show you where they lead to. Okay, as you can see, this is for anything that overflows, and then certain overflow chamber. If it goes above this level, it drains, and then anything below that should just evaporate. And it does kind of spill over a little bit. This is the secondary overflow, which is always supposed to overflow. With a couple of drains in there to keep the level sustainable. And then it leads out into the main drainage, which will lead straight down into the actual main sewers. Now, this is the runoff from the big water wheel. So I'll show you. There we go. Comes down, spins that, and goes like this. And then what we found is I've placed this in here because it has a bit more of a, I guess, better allocation rather than just having it in a random place up there. So I'll show you the main sewers first, come back out, show you the top sewers, and then the outside. So the water comes through that down here and down a waterfall, which I might make into a pipe with like a lattice grid system to make the water distribute better. Because it kind of at the minute, when it goes off a corner, as the water would, just drop straight down, and the problem with that is even if it's quite a heavy flow, it will do that. There's not really any pressure behind it at the moment in the way that is implemented into the game. And that lattice should help let it spread out evenly. Obviously it would only work vertically, not horizontally. Now it comes down through this, underneath. It's not the prettiest thing in the world, but it's what we're working with at the moment. It goes down and then it goes into a duct above the main sewage system. And this is it, the main sewage. Try to make it look quite run down, because the whole idea of the entire building is it was an ancient build essentially, and my people, my villagers and me have moved in, when in reality I've built the old bloody thing. So we've got these ducts, dig outs, which allow water to flow through extra outputs. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, those three you don't have any, just to keep the game stable, because if you have too much water flowing, it tends to send it a bit wacky. Got a bit of a water dump over there. There's no drainage, it sort of just fills, acts as a backup, and then we've got our main drainage over here. And we've got drains at the top just to keep the levels stable, so it's not as dynamic as I'd made that out to be. We've got another output here to help fill that out better. That was going to be more room to maybe expand this, but that is the build limit, I think. So I need to place another flame altar to allow me to build further that way. And then, yeah, really quickly, you can see here, just got a curvature, and that applies to this area, that area, this area, that area, and this area. I was going to do it for the roof too, but that's a big effort. I'm a lazy man. One of the coolest features about this volumetric water is it drains in, I imagine, not an exact simulation, but it's a similar way too. Quite deep, as you can see, and this is the runoff from the entire base. If I open this, there's a drain under there, and the water will start to whirlpool, which is really cool, and it will actually drain the entire sewage system down here to a level. There's a few caveats to that. As you can see, the water over here is remaining relatively stable level, whereas over here is draining rapidly, and there are some bugs where the water out of nowhere will just bounce back up And I think that's to do with having too many water outputs in general. Now, it doesn't happen every time, it's very unstable. As you can see, it's draining, and it would take quite a while to drain. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. And that can get quite violent at times, where I'll be shooting up and down, and be quite the death trap actually. It can get you trapped and drown. Just close that to prevent that happening. Right. Now, as you can see, I'll show you the runoff. Not runoff, the secondary reservoir. There we go. No drainage, just static. Now, what we shall see, I'll show you, is when I get to the very top of here, I'll show you the secondary sewer system in a rather non-conventional way. We'll head this way, and as you can see, the water's flowing quite heavily. Here, this is where the runoff on the main sewers are. Got multiple drains to control the flow of the water from the houses. As you can see, we've got a little party. I absolutely love it down here, and I couldn't tell you why. This is from one home, that's from a home, that is also from a home. And essentially these are all just dead ends other than this one. This is from that duct I showed you with the waterfall. And then that is a dead end, needs more work doing to it. Yeah, that's really that with this area. It's quite box standard. And the exit is just here. There we go. As you can see, that water is really struggling to drain in certain areas. I guess that's the problem with volumetric water. It really does just get everywhere. Right, so now I'll show you the forge, possibly my favourite bit. Now, as you can see, I've attempted to build some kind of eagle, and it's gone rather goofy.
Hello.
Forge itself, I've got a little entrance, might have some more work done to it, but I kind of like it. The sort of improvised nature of it. Here, got an actual forge. Took some level of inspiration from the Skyforge in Skyrim. It gives me the feeling of it, but looks absolutely nothing like it. That definitely needs more work. But here we have our outside with a little walk around, which leads to the blacksmith, no, the wizard's home. This is the wizard's second home that I built in. I showed you the first one earlier. It's very cramped. Absolutely no character. So he may be moving back. Now, this pillar, again, temporary, will be moved. Or removed and replaced with something else, I think. But for now, I have a system. So, as you can see, I've got plenty of room to work with to build a new one. And that goes down another set of levels, and then again and again. So yeah, I think that's it. We've got another room here actually, I suppose. Oh, she's just vibing in, weirdly. Or dungeon room, I suppose. But yeah, really this base was more of to test the limits of the terrain manipulation, with the upcoming water features and then implemented water features. Yeah, tell me what you think.